Hello, I'm Kamal Daniels. It is 7 a.m. in the morning. It is the Peng Sports Podcast, episode 20, on the 14th of July. We're still not in the dog days of summer. I'm going to speak into existence. No dog days of summer this year. And I hope you all having a decent week so far. And if not, let's do something, man. Let's change it up. Let's go for a walk. Let's cut the grass, sweep, mop. Do something productive. Do something that you can do today that can give you a sense of accomplishment. If that's read a chapter of a book. If that's write a page in your diary or journal. If that's just sitting on the couch and relaxing. Something that can make you feel good, give you some joy. Let's start that. And maybe, just maybe, that can be the catalyst of the beginning of a good week. Time's an illusion, man. We can start tomorrow, 2 seconds from now. Weeks are determined on what you want to make them. Alright? So, let's chill. Let's get a laugh. Let's walk. Let's go to the grocery store. Let's do something that can bring you joy. And maybe, just maybe, I'm not going to tell you it's going to be the solution, but it's a suggestion. Just maybe that can be the start of something new. A new week, a new, I don't know your names, a new Phil, a new Zeke. But anywho, let's get into basketball. And not USA basketball. Good win yesterday by USA basketball. It's going to be all right. USA is going to be back. It's a chemistry thing. Just like with every super team, I guess, quote-unquote super team. You got to figure out everyone's games. Kevin Durant playing with Damian Lillard, Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum, Draymond Green, all, I guess you guys could say, alpha males in the locker room. It's going to work out. Coach Pop, that's why I've sort of said, this is the reason why I said it, but I said, hey man, let's just put a bunch of young dudes in there, put Pop in there. They'll listen to Pop because they respect Pop. They've grown up with Pop. They think he's maybe the GOAT over Phil Jackson, Put Cade Cunningham, put Jalen Suggs, put Luke Garza. Then you can put a little bit of experience on there. A Draymond Green. Put a Zion, John Morant, Trae Young. Even though I don't think Trae Young wanted to play. But put players like that in there who will respect Coach Popovich. And we don't lose to Nigeria, I don't think, or we don't lose to Australia without a Ben Simmons. But you live and you learn. You learn the most from losses. I think the United States will take this tournament a little bit more seriously. If they went 3-0, they could lose 2 games in the Olympics, which could be 2 times worse. So, and they're trying to figure out rotation. It's not really a big deal at all. But the actual basketballs that's happening, there's 3 players who will be playing on Team USA in these finals. And that's Devin Booker, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton. But, what I usually do is I brag about how Giannis is a baller, brag how Chris Middleton's a baller, brag about how Devin Booker's a baller, brag about how Chris Paul's a baller. As per use, the use thing that we do on this podcast. But this podcast, I want to sort of review the games due to there being only one series, and that's pretty much the only reason. Because me just talking about Chris Paul being a baller, you sort of already know these guys are clutch and ballers and they do their thing 25-8, So I'll recap the game. I write notes about the games. This is the first time I'm sort of gonna not show you guys my notes, but give you a little insight of how I think during the games, what I see during the games, what I'm thinking during the games. Hopefully it makes sense. If it doesn't, I don't think it's supposed to. They're my notes. But basically, let's start up with game 1. If I'm not mistaken, game 1 was Wednesday. So game 2 was... So did we have game 1 before the podcast? I'm trying to think. Game 2 was on Sunday, right? Then Thursday was game 2, if I'm not mistaken. Game 3 was on Sunday. Game 2 was on Thursday. Game 1 was on Tuesday. Oh, so we already went over game 1, sort of, kind of. I think I skimmed over it. But game 1, the Bucks look tired. Nothing much. That's it. Suns look rested. Bucks look tired. Suns had home court. Again, best fans in the league. Loudest fans in the league. Maybe not the best, but the loudest. At least that's what I'm seeing from television. So you expect the Suns to win game 1. Game 2. Game 2, quarter 1. And in this quarter, I realized Cam Johnson's going to make every shot that needs to be made. He's not going to pass it up. He's not going to take bad shots. Because throughout the course of the playoffs, I think the Lakers series, that's probably his worst series. Nuggets series got slightly better. Clippers series really stepped up. In this series, he's really stepping up again. The 4th most important player on this team comes off the bench, provides a spark, makes open shots, not streaky. Jay Crowder can be a little streaky. Jay Crowder can be a little unpredictable. But Cam Johnson, when you see him open into the corner, open at the key, or open wherever, you expect him to make the shot. And that's not common for a lot of players. Right? So in game 2, quarter 1, the Bucks looked up for it. They didn't look tired. They didn't look like, okay, now this is the beginning of the series. Because they started out sort of well. Then the Suns come out and go on a streak. And as the Suns are going on a streak, ending out the quarter strong, I believe Torrey Craig hits a 3, puts the Suns up 1, or 2. Puts the Suns up 2, I believe. Either it was the next possession or the following possession. I know either the Bucks got to stop, but I believe it was the following possession. Connaughton gets a 3 in the corner, hits a 3, right? Bucks up 1. This is after a Suns huge run, right? Bucks up 1. Then, I think I have to refresh my memory, but at the end of that quarter, Portis hits a putback 2, Bucks up 3 at the end of the quarter. And I thought, at this point, that's the decisive moment of what won the Bucks the game. If the Bucks won game 2, we'll look back at the 5 points at the end of quarter 1, which won the game. Because the Suns were hot. And when the Suns get on those streaks, they're almost impossible to stop. A timeout can stop them, and that's about it. But you don't want to waste a timeout in the first quarter, right? So Mike Budenholzer doesn't. So they go on this run, and then the Bucks somehow figure a way to still be up 3 at the end of the quarter. And outside of maybe the end of the second, which enters halftime, ending every quarter is important to my to not my decision, but to the victor. And the Bucks were punched in the mouth, and they took it, and they looked up. But what happened in the second quarter, it looked like the Suns didn't care what happened. They kept the momentum, and they showed me why they made the finals. They showed me why they're a legit team, why I believe they're the second seed in the Western Conference. Why they're here. They throw a haymaker in the first quarter, then they throw another haymaker in the second quarter, or they continued the combo, whatever boxing terminology is correct in that situation. I'm a boxing novice, as you can see here. Then I saw Drew Holiday in the second quarter, even as the Suns go on a run. I believe the Bucks don't score more than 20 points in this quarter, and the Suns scored around 30, if I'm not mistaken. But I liked how Drew Holiday, even though his shots weren't falling, he was still staying aggressive. And I'm not throwing shade on Chris Middleton or Brook Lopez or anyone else. All I'm saying is slurp of water right there. All I'm saying is I noticed Drew Holiday was being excessively aggressive, and it wasn't a bad, excessively aggressive, not passing the ball or anything, but he was playing how he was playing in Game 6 and Game 7, and that was a good sign, a good omen, I guess you could say, for the rest of the series, that he's not backing down. That when he doesn't see a few shots fall, he's not going to back down. And he sort of did that in the next series, Game 7. Didn't play a great first quarter, first half, stayed aggressive, and it helped him in the long run. And I think it's going to help him in the long run later when they play Game 5 in Phoenix, which is definitely happening, or when they play Game 7 in Phoenix. Because I do believe this game will go 7 games. I don't know who's going to win, but I think it'll go 7 games. And in the quarter, I also noticed one glaring thing about Giannis's game. And this is the negative portion of the episode. So if you want to skip about, I'll say 10 seconds, I would do so. Because we don't promote negativity on here. We're 100%, 1000% positive. This is the Positive Sports Podcast. Peng Positive Podcast. New podcast name. If I ever get my podcast revoked, Peng Positive Podcast. The Peng Positive Podcast. Say that 5 times fast. I'll wait. Okay, so you probably skip 10 seconds, but we're talking about me changing the name of the podcast. Skip another 10 seconds. Go back 10 seconds. Listen to what I said. Skip another 10 seconds. Because now I'm about to get into the negativity of Giannis. Alright. So, what minute are you? Well, 13th minute. Alright, so 14. It's around 14:6, 7. 14:11. No, don't skip to 14:11. Skip to 14:30 to be back in the second quarter of the Peng Sports Podcast. I may have a timestamp on YouTube. So, 14:30. One negative about Giannis' game is that he's not a great passer. And that's like me getting mad at Giannis being not a good passer is like me getting mad at my child for getting, I don't have a child, for getting an 89 on a test instead of a 90. Right? It's yeah, you want him to get an A, but it's a B++. And I would say Giannis become a better passer, slightly better passer, and that will make him more of an elite player. Already elite, more into the stratosphere of Kevin Durant, more into the stratosphere of LeBron James. LeBron James isn't in that category anymore, but more into that category, Get a shot, but get better. I think passing should be more, it should be a higher on the priority list for Giannis. And that's all I say. So now, you should have skipped to 15:30 actually. That's when I'll put the time stamp 15:30 to back to the second quarter action. Alright? Now, in the second quarter, what you can really take out of it is good defense by the Bucks. If you watch this quarter, I really thought they had to play really well defense, showing effort, not giving up. But the Suns were just making shots. And again, the Suns, they don't really get cold in games. And that's impressive to me. They get hot, really hot, but they don't get cold. They won't go on a 5-minute and 34-second streak of them not scoring. Maybe a 2-minute streak. But they will go on a 5-minute and 34-minute streak of them scoring 20 points. Not 5 minutes, in 3 minutes. They score 20 points in 3 minutes. Little Golden State-esque, little Houston Rockets-esque. Of course, you have Chris Paul on the team. All right, halftime. Take a break. Watch another YouTube video. Watch highlights. Best highlights of the playoffs. Probably watch that Dame Lillard game against the Nuggets. I forget. I think it was game 4. No, it wasn't game 4. Game 5 or game 2. One of those games. Watch some highlights. Let's get back to it. All right. Third quarter. The word of the day for the third quarter of game 2 of the NBA Finals 2021 is this. Giannis. That's the word of the day for the third quarter of game 2 of the 2021 NBA Finals. That's it. But with Giannis dropping 20 plus points, I believe, in the third, the Suns still were able to drop 32 points and were outscored by 1 point. Bucks scored 33, Suns scored 32. The quietest 32-point quarter you will see in the NBA. Quiet. 32 points, good quarter, weathered the storm. It was choppy, wasn't their pace, but still were able to execute, and that is a championship caliber team. Funky playoffs, but two teams that definitely deserve to make the finals made the finals. It wasn't the Washington Wizards and the Portland Trail Blazers. Nothing against those two teams, two good seasons. But let's be honest. These two teams could have made the finals even with everyone being healthy. So I don't really want to hear the train of thought or the notion that these two teams are only here because of luck. Because the Suns could have definitely won the series even with AD healthy. It's called adjustments. Alright? So, the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter, game 2. We saw why we call players superstars, and we saw why we call players great. And we also see why I like Pat Connaughton so much. Chris Paul looks like an old man on the court. Not as mobile, not as agile as he used to. I think he's just as good of a passer. I think he's just maybe a slightly less good of a passer. Not as great of a passer as he used to. But you see he wants it, and sometimes that's all you need. You need a guy who wants it. And the Bucks, in the fourth quarter, cut the lead to 6. Clear momentum. And then what happens? Oh, Devin Booker hits a contested step-back 3 over Brook Lopez, who had very good defense. That's why I said contested, of course. 9-point lead. All is right in Phoenix. All is right in Cactus Land. Then something else happens, and the greatest play of the finals, of game 3 of the finals, the Giannis block against Bridges, if I'm not mistaken. But Bridges block, the second one. He had the chase down block in game 1. But I think the Suns cut the lead down to 5. Then the Suns go on another run. Lead balloons back up to 13. So now it's over, right? Nah. Then the Bucks go on a 7-0 run with about a minute 32 left. So they're down by 6 with about a minute 30 left. Game's still not over. But the Suns are the Suns. The Suns have been here before. The Suns have Chris Paul. And they win. And that's game 2. Maybe a little too late for you, but again, just like the end of the first quarter, and just like Big Drew Holiday being aggressive, and the end of this quarter, is showing that this Bucks team isn't going to go away. It's showing things are going to break through later. Then finishing out a quarter after the Suns go on a run, it's going to help them in Game 5 and Game 4 and Game 6 and Game 7. Yeah, they lose, but it's going to help them. And the Suns know that. And that's the great thing about the Suns, too. They know they're going to have to grind in victory. They're not going to take a game off. You can maybe say they took Game 3 off. But speaking of Game 3, let's get into it. But I want to say this. I want to say this before I get into Game 3. Wait, never mind. Let's just get into it. I say it during in the first quarter. What'd you guys think? I thought the Suns looked like the Suns really wanted it. They were trying to end it early and end it fast, but the Bucks are the Bucks. And we saw in Game 3 how important Game 3 is. We saw in Game 3 how important Game 3 is. Yes. We saw in Game 3 how important home court is. Home field, whatever you want to call it. Because the Bucks role players started playing a little bit better. Pat Connaughton did his thing, of course. You know, he does what he does. And we also saw in the first quarter, and we also saw in Game 1 and Game 2, these home white jerseys need to be improved. They put too much emphasis. I love those Bucks green jerseys with the little antlers on them. I like the Suns black jerseys. Not a fan of the orange jerseys, but I'm not a fan of orange. But I'm just noticing these white jerseys, these now away jerseys, used to be the home jerseys. I'm cool with it. I don't really care. But they just got too much, man. We need to simplify it a little bit. Make it simpler. We don't need orange and all on the going down the backside and then orange sun on the shorts. The Bucks, it's a little bit better, but we need to work on these white home jerseys, quote unquote. Is it quote unquote? Is quote unquote, or is it quote unquote? Answer that in the comments. But also in that quarter, something popped in my mind. Timberwolves have a good away jersey, and the Golden State have good away home jerseys. That's not what popped in my mind, though. What popped in my mind was, if you had to choose right now today, July the 14th, 7:49 a.m., Well, maybe not, it's not 7.9 where you're listening to, and it's maybe not be July 14th. But who's making the finals next year? Right now. Yes, before the trade, yeah, you have to wait for the trade deadline. Yeah, you have to wait for the free agency. But right now, before all of that, if we're just doing the thing and predicting who's going to make the finals next year, who's making your finals? Question, put it in the comments, answer in the comments, whatever. Who's making the finals next year? All right. I believe we're still in the first quarter. What I noticed from the first quarter, or where at least I noticed from the Bucks, is they still don't respect Cam Payne. They still give him acres of space. And I think they're just going to say, you're not going to be the spark that we want you to be. We're going to let you score, and you're going to have to be the guy. You're going to have to be the guy in Game 2 against the Clippers for us to respect you. And that's just how the Bucks are rolling. I think they're just saying, hey, if we lose to Cam Payne, we'll lose to Cam Payne. Cameron Payne. Any whatever his name is. And for the first time, look, we're in the second quarter now. For the first time in this playoffs that I can remember, I saw a team get Ayton into foul trouble. The first time. I remember in the regular season, Ayton got fouled out a few times. And I thought in this playoffs, that was going to be the Achilles heel of Ayton. Teams were going to go at him. Teams were going to get him in foul trouble. But he was enough of a rim protector where teams didn't want the momentum to change. So they weren't going at him. The Bucks have Giannis. The Bucks have Brook Lopez, who's not going to get their shot blocked too much with Ayton in the game. So they got him in foul trouble. And I think they figured it out a little bit in Game 3. Now, Monty Williams was on the short list for Coach of the Year. He's going to figure something out. So I wouldn't bank on it. But Ayton gets in foul trouble. That's my biggest takeaway. Bucks stretch out the lead a little bit. And it's halftime. And oh my God. All right, so I'm going to cut that out. What was that? But anyways, third quarter. Just like the second quarter. Except in this quarter, I believe Cam Johnson was giving out free facials. I'm not sure. The only guy who got one was PJ Tucker. But I do believe Cam Johnson was giving out free facials. That's what I saw. That's what my sources told me. There is a plane flying over Tallahassee right now. Well, there's an airport in Tallahassee. So if you hear an airplane, that's an airplane flying over. But back to the facials. I don't know if they costed money, but I believe they were free. I was in Tallahassee, so I couldn't get one. No one else in the stadium decided to get one. Maybe Cam Johnson doesn't offer good facials. I don't know. But what I heard, what I saw too, it looked like it was free. Cam Johnson was giving out free facials in the third quarter. But same trend as the second. Bucks stretched it out a little bit more. I think the Suns went on one, if I'm not mistaken. Also, we saw, maybe you guys probably saw this earlier. You guys probably definitely saw this earlier. Giannis is the best player on the team. Middleton, Chris, Holiday, Drew, very good. Played very well Game 5 and Game 6 against the Hawks. But Giannis is the best player on the team. Yeah, he may stuff the ball on offense. Miss a free throw, one or two here and there. but he's the best player on the team. He has the leverage to miss a free throw. He can stop the ball. And I'm saying this right now since we're on the topic. Not the best player in the league, but the second best player in the league, behind Kevin Durant. Now, with that being said, let's get into the fourth quarter. ESPN, ABC, notoriously known for putting up the most random stats. This time it was about Giannis, but no one cares. In the fourth, we saw the Suns take out D-Book around the 6-minute mark, so they were done. Ooh, that's a pin. But it would have been a surprise if the Suns had won. It looked like they were going for it. They realized we could still go for it, but let's not. Let's go for it in Game 4. But who's going to win tonight? I'm excited. I'm excited about tonight. How about you? It's going to be a good game. I'm speaking into existence. I'm not jinxing it. I'm speaking it into existence. Still not picking a winner of the series. Not picking a winner of the game. I'm not going to ruin this for me. This is not going to be ruined for me. Anyways. Who you got tonight? Who you got win the series? I'm not choosing. You choose. It's coming on. Okay, I'm gonna start with the head assery, as we say on the streets. I'm gonna stop with that. Football is not coming home this summer. But I do believe football is getting back to where we know it. I do. COVID put a number on people, man. You know, some people gained weight. Some people got depressed. But vaccines are out. It's looking bright again. It's getting back to normalcy, I guess. What is normal? What is normal? Is the true question we should be asking, man. Open your third eye. And just like people on COVID, football went through COVID also. And just like us, is looking a little brighter for football too. Also, whatever you want to call it. Italy and Argentina winning. First, I want to say congratulations. But I think them winning is a win for football. I think we were getting into a weird space in football, if I'm being completely honest with you, focusing more on tactics and less on the players. With winning and beating with Italy. I'm trying to say winning in Italy at the same time. With Italy winning the Euros, it shows that ballers can beat the system. I think if England would have won, good for England, of course, but I think people would have said yes. Tactics. It doesn't matter. You can have the worst team. As long as you have some tactics, you're good. England didn't have the worst team by a mile, kilometer, whatever they say. But it was getting too focused on the managers. And like Michael Jordan said in The Last Dance, the players win the championships. He said something along these lines. Yeah, the managers help. Yeah, the president helps. General manager helps. But it's really about the players. Players win championships. See, with Chelsea winning the Champions League this year and Manchester City being prominent, we definitely thought the system, we definitely thought managers were way more important than the players. And it's good to have the right system. Everyone's looking for it. But sometimes you just need to play. Sometimes you just need to give more effort than the other team. And it doesn't really matter if you're playing a 4-3-3, a 5-4-2. That can't happen. A 5-3-2, it doesn't matter. Just give effort. And we saw that in the Euros a lot, to be honest. And that's all Copa America is, giving a bunch of effort. And that's why Argentina won the Copa America, I believe. I don't, and I will say this. In the final of the Copa America, I do not think Argentina had a plan after Di Maria scored. I really don't. I think they're like, we're going to pass it up. We're going to play super direct. And if we score, we score. We may go to penalties. But we're going to hold Brazil. We're going to keep this shutout. I think that was their plan. And as soon as they scored, they're like, wow, what are we doing right now? We're supposed to go to PKs. But, God, what a game. What a game. They just played, man. They just played. They didn't think about it too much. You saw Montiel, if that's how you pronounce his name, with the bloody sock. You saw Messi playing defensive mid and striker at the same time. That's what wins you games. Tactics help, but heart wins you game. And that's what is the beautiful game. It wasn't beautiful passing, chipping, goals, upper 90. Great goal, I might add. It was a beautiful goal. But that's not what makes football the beautiful game. It was a beautiful slugfest. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder. A term loosely said. That's for another day, though, another podcast. But it was a beautiful game, hard-fought, hard-working game. It was a Copa America game, a South American game, something that Europe probably misses a little bit. A little sluggy, a little dirty, you know? And to Brazil, Neymar will get another chance. World Cup next year, they're going to be favorites. Maybe not the favorite, but favorites. Another Copa America happened. He'll be 30, around 30 next year, I believe. Neymar, 29, 30. He'll get another chance. He'll get another chance. But it was Messi's night. Great for Messi, great for Argentina. Maradona dying, passing away. Winning for Maradona, winning for Argentina. And a thing that I constantly saw was, and nothing against these guys, but things that I constantly saw was, a lot of people were saying, this doesn't change the opinion of Messi at all. I just think the same. And I want to say this. Not necessarily to those guys, but to the people whose opinions did change because of Messi winning and people's opinions of Messi's international career. I don't think Messi cared, to be completely honest with you. Because his reaction wasn't, oh, the pressure's going to be off me. His reaction was, finally, I did it for my country. I really don't think the media got to him. I really don't. I don't. I think the media got to him. I don't think he makes PKs. I don't think he shoots free kicks. I don't think he does what he does. I don't think he plays as free. I think it was more the pressure he put on himself because he wanted to win it for himself and wanted to win it for his country. So, maybe it could have been from you all, the media. I guess I'm part of the media, technically. But congratulations to Messi. And congratulations to South America. Hopefully South America, hopefully Africa can win the next World Cup. It's in Qatar. Last World Cup that was in Africa. Maybe you would say Qatar is Asia. Southwest Asia. It depends on what you think. I think it's technically Asia, though. Or maybe Africa. I need to study my geography. I think it's... Oh, man. I think it's Asia. Not 100%, though. But anyways, it's close to Africa. Last time the last time Africa hosted the World Cup, Ghana went to the quarterfinals, were this close. Luis Suarez handball away from making the semis. African team definitely has a chance. But I do believe Africa and South America, one of them need to win the World Cup next year. Or a Central American team like a Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala. They can win a World Cup too. But I think for like how Italy and Argentina winning helped soccer progress, I think those countries, Africa and South America winning, will help football progress a little bit more. They play with a certain kind of freedom, if that makes sense. You know? And it shows this little element of soccer, that there's more to soccer than just tactics. Everyone just hones in and focuses on European soccer. Tactics. Managers. France, we saw that a little bit, with the freedom, right? But the teams that personify freedom and just going out there and playing are South American teams, I believe, are Central American teams, I believe, and African teams. So, if you disagree with me. But why not? Europe was one of the last three, right? Last four. Italy, then Spain, Germany, France. Last four. It's about time. It's due. They're due. South America, Africa. Africa's never won one. Those countries are due. But Euros did finish up this Sunday. Great tournament. I said a few podcasts back, keep the format of having home group stage games. I liked it. Especially with more fans. It'll be quite interesting, I do believe. Then have one location with the knockout round. So I believe it's supposed to be held in Turkey this year. The Euros, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But let's say we have the group stage games in the group stage. Home games. Denmark plays at home in Copenhagen. Belgium plays in Brussels, if that's where they play. England playing Wimbledon, London. And then go to one centralized location, Turkey, and play all the knockout stages games there. Suggestion. And the team that hosts, so Group A, those teams will just all stay in that area. There won't be any home and away games in Group A. Suggestion, food for thought. Think about it, ponder it, consider it carefully. Right? So, the final was Sunday, as I said, I believe. And England lost to a better team. Nothing more, nothing less. If England played Portugal, they would have lost. If England played France, they would have lost. If England played Belgium, they would have lost. And that's how they roll. And you can't have any shame in losing to better teams. And that's the way England play. Where they're not going to lose to teams that they're worse than. It's not going to happen. Now, was that a good thing? I don't think it's going to be rare where they beat a team that's better than them. And they played a team that was better than them and forced them to PKs. To me, I'd much rather get knocked out on PKs to a better team in the finals of Euros than get knocked out in the round of 16 to Iceland. That's just my preference. And I didn't get dominated 4-1, 3-1. I lost on PKs, and Italy missed 2 PKs. A lot of things people said was England needs to be more expansive. Yeah, I guess. Possible. But when your best players play on defense, why would you cater to something that you're not the best at? The best at what you're doing is a defense. The players that showed up every game, when England was getting dominated in the midfield by Cruz and Gretzka, who was there? The defense. Kane didn't save him. Sterling loved him. Didn't save him. It was Maguire, Stones, and Walker in the back. And it's tough to make that kind of adjustment mid-game, change the whole everything, how you play in total. It's tough. I'll be completely honest with you. It's very difficult. You could do it probably because you're probably one of the greatest managers ever. Just your potential hasn't been unlocked. Someone give you opportunity, of course. Most clean sheets in the tournament. May have been a tournament record. 2 goals scored against them in the tournament in total. 2 set pieces, if I do say so if I'm not mistaken. Kane, good. Grealish, good. Sterling, good. But they're not keeping you in games. Your defenses. And there's a new guy added to this non-slander list. I think we got to add people, to the guys you can't slander. But this is just a year pass. There's some people, if you slander them or talk down upon them, I can sort of understand it. Don't promote it. Again, I'm allergic to negativity. Allergic. Prescribed. Take antibiotics every day for it. But he gets a year pass. It's not a lifetime membership like a Giannis or a Paul George or Kevin Durant or Chris Paul or LeBron. But it's a year membership, and he can renew it at the beginning of this season, Premier League season, and that's Harry Maguire. It's starting today, to be honest. So it expired 2022, July 14th. That's when it would expire. But I don't want any slander for at least minimum a year of Harry Maguire. Wasn't always a fan of the guy. But he's a boy amongst men. He's a man amongst boys. A man amongst boys. The way he plays, the way he handles himself. I don't have to worry about him. Like watching Harry Maguire play, man. Like watching him play. He knows himself. And that's key in football and a key in life. Don't have to be the best. Don't have to be the prettiest. Don't have to be the most skilled. But if you know yourself, it can take you a lot longer. Further than you think. Just being yourself. Great job, England. It will come home one day. It will come home one day. In my lifetime, I believe it'll come home. I do. And to touch on the racist comments, I guess we have to talk about it. It's my social responsibility, being an African-American man. But there's not really much to talk about. You know how it is. My only thing is, don't act crazy. Don't get mad when you see Neymar throw an all-white party. Don't get mad when players start playing for themselves, when players play selfishly. Don't be surprised when the quality of football drops off. Don't be shocked when football becomes baseball. Don't be surprised, because you kill these guys when they make a penalty. You kill them when they miss a penalty. You come at them for immaterial things, like the color of their skin. That has nothing to do with football. Literally nothing. So just don't be surprised when they start playing for themselves and start playing a little bit selfishly and they start messing up the game you love. Don't be surprised. You did this to yourself. That's my thing. I'm just not going to be surprised when I see Marcus Rashford not pass the ball to Bruno Fernandes and Bruno Fernandes has an open shot. Or when some of these dudes play a little more selfishly or act like they don't care. I'm not going to be shocked. Because you don't care. Why should they? I'm going to get my money and I'm going to leave. You don't care about me when I retire. You don't care about me anytime. But now, if your game gets messed up, when it affects you, you call me all kinds of names. That's all I have to say on that. Just don't be surprised when players start playing a little bit more selfishly. And when things change. Don't be shocked. Now, to speak on the champions, I don't want to be a negative guy. I just focus on losers too much. Congratulations. I like Italy. Not always have, but I like how they celebrate. I like how they have the passion for it. And that is what football is missing, passion. I like a guy who doesn't celebrate when they score, who has cool, calm, collected, but no passion. I love N'Golo Kante. And he plays with passion, but I like seeing it expressed. You know? Does that make sense? Football is in a good place. With Chiesa being Chiesa, if Chiesa's going to go up, he still hasn't hit the zenith of his powers yet. He's going to be really good. Football's in good hands. Congrats to Chiellini, Bonucci. Champions League is the only thing on their mind now. Italy was the best team. Italy had the best manager, coach, whatever you want to call it. 2020 World Cup up next. Who you got? Women's Olympic football. Olympics coming up the 22nd, if I'm not mistaken, 8 days. Gotta do some Olympics research, right? So it'll be the 21st next podcast. I'll have a little Olympics research for you. Archery, rowing. But this episode of the Peng Sports Podcast, episode 20, has been fun. As per usual. Always have a good time talking to myself. Fun time talking to you guys. Olympic coverage next week. Thank you guys for listening. Bend your legs. Bend your legs. Bend your legs. Do not bend with your back. Do not scrunch down with your back. Bend those legs. Squat. That's what they're used for. That's what your legs are used for. They're not used to be upright when your back is bent. Your back is not supposed to bend like that all the time. It can. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something. Bend your legs. When you're going down to put the pots in the cabinet, bend your legs. Don't bend your back. Alright? Word of advice for life. Not for the week, for life. Thank you guys for listening to the Peng Sports Podcast, episode 20. It's Kamar Daniels. Thank you. It means a lot. Finish out the week strong. Bye.